saw that the other day. I said,
wherever I am.
All right, folks, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered for Monday, December 10th, 2018, Cyntoia Brown sex trafficked at 16. When she killed the man she had been sold to, she was sentenced to life in prison. Supreme Court in Tennessee last week said she should have to serve at least 51 years of her sentence before being eligible for parole. This case stinks, and we're going to break it down. Also, the Republican assault on democracy goes on. Today, we focus on Florida. Proposition 4 passed 65% of the voters in Florida. It restores the voting rights of the formerly incarcerated, yet Republicans are saying, well, we need more guidance. What the hell you need guidance on? It passed. We'll talk with Desmond Meade, the brother who spent 10 years trying to make sure this got on the ballot. Donald Trump's personal lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen is expected to be sentenced on Wednesday for felonies he committed at the direction of Donald Trump. As one legal expert put it, if Trump were not president, he'd already be indicted. Our panel will break this down. Also, folks, Donald Trump lies so much. Fact checkers have been working overtime. Today, the Washington Post unveiled a new category of lying that only Donald Trump qualifies for. We tried to tell you. Hashtag Trump Lives Matter. Also, folks, New York City cops grab a baby from a woman's arms for sitting on the floor of a food stamps office. There were no chairs. Folks, this could be a new one, sitting while black. We've got the disturbing video. Also, an extremely entitled example of white privilege. A college student at Columbia University in New York went on a tirade aimed at a bunch of other students of color. Yeah, you know, crazy-ass white boy, he in trouble. We got the video. An African-American woman from North Carolina who inspired generations of civil rights workers dies at the age of 97. We'll have a moving tribute to Rosanell Eaton. You don't want to miss it. It's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered. Let's go.
Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
All right, folks, Cyntoia Brown was 16 years old, okay, in 2004 when she killed real estate agent Johnny Allen. Of course, she had been sold to him as a sex slave by her pimp and boyfriend, a man named Cutthroat. She killed him in which she claimed self-defense, but the jury convicted her of first-degree murder and sentenced her to life in prison. In Tennessee last week, the state Supreme Court ruled she must serve 51 years of that sentence before being eligible for parole. Now compare that to the other child sex trafficking case we heard about last week when billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, who was accused of sex trafficking with minors over a 6-year period with dozens of girls, was sentenced to serve 13 months in a Florida county jail, not even prison. And he got out to go to work outside the jail. Rihanna and Kim Kardashian West have both advocated for this young woman. The Women's March announced a demonstration on her behalf in January, and her story was told in a 2011 documentary entitled Me Facing Life, Cyntoia's Story. Here's an excerpt.
Tell me about these people, your adoptive mom and dad. What are they like?
Mom, she nags a lot, but she's a sweet person, but she wants me to be perfect and like her daughter. And my dad, that's the only word you need to describe him.
Like what do you mean? Like, what would he do?
Like it, you know what I'm saying? Like it and stuff like that.
He would sort of slap you around?
Sometimes he had no reason, just, he would actually say, I swear for God, because I felt like it.
I'm sorry, he said what?
Because I felt like it when I asked him why he hit me.
Oh, I see. That's what he would say.
Yeah.
What's this guy Cut? What's his real name?
Gary and McLean.
So how long were you living with him?
For like 3 weeks.
And then what was he like?
Different hotels. I remember one time, the first time he did something to me is when he choked me and I passed out. Because he said I thought he was a joke.
Mm-hmm. else did he do to you?
He talked real bad to me and jacked me up. He pulled me by my hair and dragged me and stuff. He put guns in me, told me to strap and stuff like that, getting that with other people.
Did you ever have sex with the guys?
When I cut the gun up to me, I did.
Did he have sex with you too?
Yeah, he had sex with me. Sometimes I don't want to have sex with him. He'd still me. I'd be crying and everything.
So how come you stayed with him?
You're not listening. I'm making him money. He wasn't gonna let me go nowhere. He's told me he'd kill me. He knows where my mom lives. And I know the dude choked me till I almost passed out. He's not afraid to kill me.
Well, I'm going to talk to Kathy Evans, and then we're going to try to do something that might help you out when you go to court. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, folks, joining us right now is Tennessee State Representative Harold Love. Representative Love, how are you? I cannot hear Representative Love, folks, so let's get the audio straight, please. Representative Love?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
There we go. All right, then. So,
all right.
So first and foremost, got to ask you your just initial thoughts on the Supreme Court decision regarding Cyntoia being 51 years. It is as if they completely ignored the fact that she was a sex slave.
Yeah, we were really disturbed by the fact that even though we passed new laws dictating that persons who were part of human trafficking would not be prosecuted this way, the law was not retroactive to affect her.
And so what is the governor saying? I mean, again, this woman clearly is a victim, and it's not like she was involved with this guy on her own accord. I mean, she was being held against her will. She was kidnapped.
Yeah.
She was being terrorized.
Yeah, that's all very true. And the unfortunate part is that when you have young ladies who are victims of sex trafficking and they're put in a situation where they're prostituted and they feel as though their life is being threatened, there's no opportunity for them to have self-defense. And this is really a very tragic situation because, as we know, people who are put in this lifestyle oftentimes are being mistreated and degraded and really just treated very awfully.
And so what is next? I mean, is the only recourse left that the governor will pardon her?
Yeah, and we have a governor going out in this next term, a new governor being elected. So the Black Caucus is looking to appeal to a new governor to say, look at the case, review it, consider all the facts, especially the fact that she was put in this awful situation, and look to give her some relief. You're talking about 51 years for defending yourself, 51 years for a situation where you, again, being a victim of sex trafficking, and this other man was threatening her life every day. So you're talking about this case needs to be revisited.
All right, then. Was Representative Love, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. We'll certainly be watching this case moving forward.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go to our panel now. Dr. Avis Jones, Weaver, leadership strategist. Michael Brown, former chair, DNC Finance Committee. Eugene Craig III, CEO of the Eugene Craig Organization. Avis, when you look at this case, I mean, I don't understand how a jury could completely ignore. I mean, did she shoot and kill a guy? Yeah, but this is a woman who, again, clearly a victim.
Absolutely.
Clearly being terrorized.
Absolutely. And first of all, she was a child when this happened. Let's just put this into context. She was a child that was illegally bought by an adult male who was raping her repeatedly and threatening her life repeatedly and committing violence against her repeatedly. And in terms of the jury, you know, I wonder about that too, although this is Tennessee. I have a very, I don't know the racial composition of the jury, but I would not be surprised to say that it probably is not reflective of her. And this is the type of justice, unfortunately, that we've come to expect.
Okay, guys, we're getting audio. Guys, okay, so Michael, I want to go to you. When you think about this, when you think about this case, I mean, again, only thing left is for folks to actually protest.
Do you know if the victim, was he white or black? Do we know?
Don't know, but more than likely black.
Yeah, it's just a mess. It's too bad for her. I'm glad that she already has some celebrity advocates out for her. Clearly protesting is always helpful. because it puts it in the news, but you're going to have a legal strategy to reverse this. And so hopefully the advocates she has also are not just celebrities in the sense of getting news coverage, but also that there's a legal strategy to help turn this around, because that's what it's going to take. She's going to have to appeal her sentence, and then hopefully hope for the best.
Eugene, again, I'm just wondering, where are evangelicals? I mean, you talk about compassion. You talk about, this is not somebody who had just a ridiculous record before this. Anybody who breaks down this case will see exactly what was going on here.
I'll take it a step further. Where are the gun groups? Where's NRA? Where's Gun Owners for America? Where's National Association of Gun Rights? The argument and selling point that gun groups make to women is that, hey, in this particular situation where you're about to be sexually assaulted, you need a firearm to protect yourself. That's exactly what she did.
Absolutely.
You know, as a child, not as a woman, not as an adult, as a child. And so, you know, the folk that, you know, put major backing behind Marsha Blackburn, Senator-elect Marsha Blackburn, the folk that put major backing behind Senator Corker, look, you know, you should be out, you know, putting pressure on the current governor and the incoming governor to both give her a pardon. I mean, this is a literal case that the NRA or any other gun group can use to wave an ear. Hey, you know, self-defense two-way actually does work. I mean, this is it. This is just broad daylight, front center. You know, front and center. But we know they won't step up because she's black. You know, Colin DeWar, they have a lot to say about anything else. You know, Antonia Okafor, you know, Dana Loesch and Chris Loesch, they have a lot to say. You know, anytime it's a situation with a black guy and a cop, or, you know, but this particular situation where their theory actually kind of worked, they're silent on.
Absolutely.
Again, I think it's going to have to actually take a massive movement, a massive campaign to actually put the kind of pressure on the governor. You're going to have to actually build support in that state to do it. And so hopefully we'll actually see that actually happen.
Absolutely. Hopefully so, because it just is not right. This poor young girl was bought. This is an example of sex slavery. She was purchased and then abused over and over again. If in that situation she has no right to protect her own life, what kind of a country are we saying that we are?
All right, let's go to our next story, folks, and that is Florida Proposition 4. You might recall it would restore the voting rights of the formerly incarcerated. Now, it passed by about 65% on November 6th, which means that it changed the state constitution. Now, Republicans, of course, they want to play games. The Secretary of State, he is saying that he needs guidance on the language from the legislature. Okay, here's the problem with that. The Florida Supreme Court, led by Republicans, actually confirmed the language. What guidance do you need? Now, this is going to impact at least 1.4 million people. Of course, many of them African American, in terms of getting their rights back. Joining us right now is Desmond Meade, of course, the brother who spent 10 years getting this on the ballot. So, Desmond, explain to us exactly what's going on in Florida, because the story that I read is the Secretary of State is not giving the proper guidance to local election officials when it comes to registering people beginning January 8th.
So thank you, first of all, for having me on your show tonight, Roland. And I really want to start out by saying this, that as we're moving forward in this process, we're not naive that there may be some obstacles along the way as far as with implementation. And so we have already established a great consortium of legal experts that have formed this legal team that stands at the ready to address any issues should they arise. But I can really say that none has at this time, and a lot of what we're hearing and a lot of the reports are just based on pure speculation. And I think most of it have to do with people are just not, they don't know how to react to Amendment 4 passing, and they're just trying to figure out what they can and cannot do.
Okay, so what is required? So who, when it comes to this amendment, who can and who can't get their voting rights restored?
Very simple, Roland. And I think you mentioned it, that we took over a year in crafting this language, making sure that it was very simple, straightforward, and politician-proof, so to say. at the end of the day, any person who is convicted of a felony who have completely served all portions of their sentence, to include probation and or parole, is eligible to register to vote. Matter of fact, beyond eligible, they have the right to register to vote, and any disqualification that was associated with that felony conviction is terminated upon successful completion of all portions of the sentence. However, it will not apply to individuals who are convicted of murder or individuals who are convicted of any felony sexual offenses.
So, 1.4 million. And so, what is the process? So, is the issue that Florida doesn't actually have a process to know how do you check to ensure that folks have completed their requirements?
So that's a great question. In the past, the only two things the two databases, I should say, that needed to be checked was a database that, first of all, indicated whether or not an individual was convicted of a felony offense, and then the other database would indicate whether or not their civil rights have been restored. And so basically the supervisor of elections have had to rely on the database from Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the database from the Office of Offender Review, which in the past was known as the Florida Parole Commission. Because this is a new way of individuals being able to get the right to vote back, what the state is grappling with is how does it interpret completion of sentence? Well, the Florida Parole Commission pretty much operate on the standard that restitution is considered part of the sentence, and they're requiring restitution to be paid. And then there's some, I would say, some fees that are associated to the sentence as part of the sentence that need to be paid. But no one in Florida Parole Commission never required that court fees, nominal fees or whatever, are being considered part of the sentence. And so what's being grappled with right now is I believe that they're really trying to figure out, number one, how are they able to process check system that would see whether or not a person have fully completed their sentence.
So folks can start registering January 8th. And so what are you telling the formerly incarcerated they should do?
Well, first and foremost, there's a mantra that we have, first of all, Roland, that we're really putting out there. And I can tell you, as a person, I'm a person who's directly impacted as well. So I wasn't able to vote for my wife when she ran for office. But in January, I'm going to be able to go and register to vote for the first time in many years and be able to vote for my wife when she decides to run again. What I am telling people is this. Number one, first and foremost, is that I've worked too hard and waited too long to get my voting rights back to just give it away to anybody. All right. And so folks are going to have to work for my vote. And that's something that we want to make sure that all of the 1.4 million returning citizens are very much aware of, and that they hold on to that, because we don't want to just give our votes away. But the other thing that I'm telling them is what I'm going to do. On January 8th, my plan is to walk into the supervisor of elections office with my family and register to vote under the full authority of the Constitution of the state of Florida, which tells me that I can do it because I have completely served all portions of my sentence.
And obviously, you say you have a strong legal team ready. This is going to be a legal fight. I mean, you know doggone well.
Yes.
You got Republicans in Florida. Last thing they want to see is a 1.4 million people all of a sudden add to the voting rolls. That could change elections up and down the Sunshine State.
But here's the thing, though, Roland, and there's a couple of facts I want to throw out there at you. First of all, I know you said that's the last thing they want to see, but you got to remember, we ran this campaign for 4 years, and at no point during those 4 years did this campaign get any kind of opposition from conservative side. As a matter of fact, because this campaign was an organic grassroots campaign that was made up of people from all walks of life and all political persuasions, we actually got bipartisan support from the Koch brothers all the way to the ACLU from Christian Coalition all the way to the AMEs. You know, we actually had a consensus that this legislation needed, or this Constitution amendment needed to be passed. It was long overdue. And so when you look even at the votes, on election night, we got over 5.1 million votes. That's over 1 million more votes than any candidate that was on the ballot, which means that there were a lot of people who were progressive that voted for it, and a heck of a lot of people who were conservatives that voted for this as well. And so we have, you know, have embraced this campaign, the nonpartisan nature of it, the all-American nature of it, we have held on to. And you know what? Not only did it get us across the finish line, we're holding on to that to get us across the next level in 2019.
Well, like I say, the very people, of course, who may get thrown out of office, they ain't down for this, and they can't keep with a law and order stuff. And so you guys are going to have, when will your phone number and website and everything be ready for folks to be able to call and reach out to if they have any issues when it comes to registering?
Yeah, so we're setting up right now to make sure that we have volunteers in place, that we have a call line, a helpline set up, as well as websites. We'll have multiple partners that probably have links to it as well, to make sure that any returning citizen who face any kind of obstacle, first and foremost, we know that they'll be able to get in contact with the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. We're plugged in with all of the legal experts, and we'll make sure that any issue that arises out of a person attempting to register to vote on January 8th and beyond will be immediately addressed by our team of experts. And we have a ton of private attorneys throughout the state of Florida who have also volunteered their time and expertise to the cause. And so we have more than ample amount of attorneys on standby ready to ensure that the will of the people is enforced and ensure that the Constitution, the right that we're afforded by the state Constitution, is adhered to.
All right, Desmond Meade, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you so much, Roland.
All right, Ben, I'll go to our panel here. I'm telling you right now, trust me, to say I need guidance from the legislature, you got enough guidance from the Supreme Court, Mr. Secretary of State.
Yeah, I mean, they see the writing on the wall. You know, once these voters are added to the rolls, it's game over. I mean, you know, it's game over. You're going to see, you know, probably, you know, D wins up and down the ballot. And particularly if these voters are added to the rolls in time for the 2020 election, Florida just got a whole lot more interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, this is consistent with what we're seeing in several other states across the nation, where Republicans are doing everything they can in this lame duck period to put a wrench into what the voters have already indicated that they want from the previous midterm elections. And this is just the Florida example of this. The implications are huge. They know it. Even though broadly speaking, yes, this particular initiative received bipartisan support, the reality is we know that the Republicans have a very strong bent towards reducing the electorate rather than expanding the electorate, because they know that generally speaking, when more people vote, they lose.
It'll be interesting to see if during these court battles, because I'm assuming they're going to be some court battles, if they try to stretch this past 2020. And let's just figure it out after 2020. Whatever happens after that, fine. But we cannot be a blue state. That's not an option.
No, it
And that
ain't happening. You ain't pushing nothing to 2020.
Right.
Bottom line is, this changes the state constitution. They're going to have to deal with that. That's what's going to happen. All right, folks, we've been telling you about the Republican assault on democracy, not only in Florida, but also in North Carolina, Michigan, and Wisconsin. The New York Times reports today that several major corporations are funding the Republican legislators in Wisconsin. Microsoft, Dr. Pepper, Snapple, JP Morgan Chase, and Humana Healthcare. Now, perhaps as customers of these companies, we should make it clear we do not approve of their money undermining the will of the people, as these Republican legislators are doing in Wisconsin, North Carolina, Michigan, and Florida. And so we'll certainly be keeping you up to date about what is going on there. Now let's talk about the lying president. New documents filed on Friday in the case of Michael Cohen, Trump's personal lawyer and self-described fixer, exposed some highly unusual, if not clearly illegal activities on the part of Donald Trump. Two areas stand out. First, Trump directed Michael Cohen to make payments to two women who have alleged affairs with Donald Trump. Now, most legal experts, including the husband of Kellyanne Conway, George Conway, thinks that those are clear campaign finance violation felonies. Second area involves Russia. Cohen claims under oath that the discussions with Russians on a deal to build a Trump Tower in Moscow did not end in January 2016, but extended well into the campaign through June of 2016, and that Trump and his family members were kept apprised of the whole situation. This at a time while Trump was denying he had any business whatsoever, any business dealings in Moscow. Now, also, folks, fact checkers have been working overtime since Donald Trump became president. One of the most famous is the Washington Post fact checker, which awards 1, 2, 3, 4 Pinocchios depending on the severity of the lie. That wasn't enough for them with a serial liar like Donald Trump. Guys, why didn't y'all have my Trump Lives Matter stinger? What's going on? I need y'all to wake up in the control room. What the hell? That's why we created the damn thing. Okay, so no, find it right now. So they created a new category called bottomless Pinocchios for the same lie being repeated at least 20 times. Now, of course, y'all know I use the hashtag Trump Lives Matter. Can y'all press play? Thank you. I'm glad we woke up in the control room. Let me see if they still awake. Play it again. Play it again. Goodness. I'm like, are we asleep? Play it again. Come on, play it again. Just want to make sure they're awake in the control room. All right, y'all. And so this bottomless Pinocchios, of course, the Trump's tax cut was the biggest in history. We know that's a damn lie. He repeated 123 times. The U.S. economy has never been stronger. Repeated 99 times. Big-ass lie. Trump claimed the United States had started building the wall. Big-ass lie. He repeated that lie 86 times, and there are 14 in total. And Trump is the only person to have the honor of even one. I could go on, but there's so many damn lies. And I'm just going to go ahead and stop. We're going to go to our panel here. So first, let's deal with Cohen. Trump got a serious problem. He can sit here, Eugene, and dance all day. I love the one over the weekend. Oh, this cleared me.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Right there. That's a damn lie.
I'm going to give you a hot take here. I don't think Trump finishes 2019 as president. At this point, his only way out is a pardon from President Pence. That is the only way he survives any type of indictment or future indictment. I am also of the belief that the U.S. attorneys in Southern District of New York may be given clearance to actually indict him. I think that's what this is building up to. Individual one, may actually see an indictment.
What gets me, Michael, is this, all the people say, oh, no, a president can't be indicted. No. There's absolutely nothing in the United States Constitution that says a president cannot face a criminal indictment. That is a memo. Yep. That is a memo written in the Department of Justice that has never been challenged in the courts. So this idea that a president somehow is above the law or he was too busy if he gets indicted. So you're trying to explain to me that everybody in our government, below president, meaning vice president, cabinet members, Supreme Court justices, members of the House, the Senate, governors, state reps, state senators, mayors, commissioners, county judges, everybody else in America could get indicted for criminal activity but one person.
And one of the loopholes in that particular letter has to do with in furtherance of getting that office in the first place. So there could already be an out relative to that particular policy that the reason the alleged crime has to do with how you got the office. What to me will change the whole dynamic of this whole situation, because clearly we know number 45 will say anything, including that these past filings cleared him, which of course they didn't, is if any of these family members are indicted.
I think that's the
If that occurs, I think that changes the whole
I agree with you
dynamic.
100%. He's definitely protecting Ivanka or Don Jr., Eric over the presidency. Or both, or all the above, over the presidency 110%. And I think, one more time, the only thing that protects him is once he gives them a pardon to protect them, only thing that protects him is apart from President Pence.
Yeah.
And I will say that one more tidbit. I think it's why Nick Ayers didn't take the job.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. Nick Ayers like, J Dog, he like, say, I'm gonna go back to Georgia.
But Nick Ayers he said, I can do this for 3 months. He said, I can do this for 3 months.
Right. Who the hell would agree to that? Avis, what really cracks me up also is when I look at all these people who are just making excuses for him. And the Fox News people are the absolute hilarious. And I love this one here, like, same thing happened under Obama. Okay. Let me just be real clear. Let me just be real clear.
What was that,
Let me be real clear.
Play it again.
Obama didn't have no side pieces. Okay. The campaign violations on the Obama campaign was because, like, 48 hours went by and then they didn't properly report or something like that. You ain't have no porn freaks walking around saying, I'm going to talk unless y'all pay me. Okay? So I love how they kept saying, it's the same exact thing.
Well,
no, it's not, Avis.
No.
It's not close to the same thing.
No, it's not close to the same thing. But you have to keep in mind, they're probably trying to get a job in the Trump administration. That's where he gets all his cronies from Fox News. We're about to have someone from Fox News in the damn UN. Okay? So, they will say anything to be in the good graces of this presidency. And the bottom line is that he probably needs them, because who else would want to work for them if they want to have a career after he goes to jail or wherever he goes off to at the end of his administration?
You know what did happen under Obama? The major Trump supporter Dinesh D'Souza actually caught an FEC case.
Oh, yeah.
In which he was convicted, in which he was given a pardon by President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one here. So you got Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, okay, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee. When asked about this, he went, I don't care.
He's honest.
So what? We can just go ahead and just like break laws, commit wrongdoing. And then I thought they were the law and order party.
No, they're not the law and order party, number one. Number two, there's also been some reporting that suggests that a number of Republicans, quite frankly, have been bought and paid for by the Russians, okay? It's not just the Trump campaign.
Dana Rohrabacher?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just the Trump campaign that has been compromised. It is Republicans that are all throughout the governmental system. So, of course, they want to protect him, because when that domino falls, guess what the other dominoes will lead to? And so they are all colluding. They are all colluding in protection of this one person who we know has sold out the United States government to a hostile interest, because they too have sold themselves out.
Then you also got the Russian agent. She's going to plead guilty for trying to use the NRA.
She's about to sing.
I mean, I'm just saying.
She's about to sing.
What's up with y'all? Got the NRA over here, got a little Russian side piece. You got Trump over here, with his two side pieces.
I can tell you ain't gonna Moscow check.
You got all these folks who are cutting checks, and Trump directing. Trump sitting here directing Cohen, and of course not today. He just went ballistic with more of his tweets. And I'm just sitting here and see this one also. I love this one here. Mueller hasn't shown us anything.
Individual one, sir.
Let me help y'all out. Because he ain't done. I mean, first of all, he doesn't show you. Here's my beginning report. Here's my 30% in report. No, you kind of have to actually wait for it. And so it just, the dancing to me is amazing. Yeah. The dancing of how they are making up stuff and like it's no big deal, and they're just getting gut checked.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, this individual one has a lot to worry about. I mean, he's been named multiple
Individual
times.
one.
Individual one. Not two, not three. Individual one. Who would go on to be elected president of the United States?
Let's see. How many people hold that position at one time?
Bingo.
Which is why it's called individual one.
Yep. So he's been named in at least 2 indictments now. Probably more. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more. As the sentencing papers for Manafort and Cohen are further filed later this week. But it's gonna be interesting. I mean, pretty much an unindicted conspirator at this point. I mean, literally been somewhat named the ringleader. I mean, Cohen said, listen, I did all this because Donald told me to do it.
Absolutely. He's tired. He's finished carrying his water for him. But what I'm looking for is the smocking gun. Where is the smocking gun?
Oh, my God. Oh, my.
First of all, what is a smocking gun?
Yes, what is a smocking gun? Look, I can't even. I can't even.
That's a new gun. That's a new age.
That's a new outfit.
Don't get smoked.
Smocking gun.
First of all, this has to be the most illiterate president
Oh
we've
my
ever
God,
had.
yes.
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
literally no qualification for president anymore.
Hooked on phonics is a beautiful thing.
I understand why Michael Avenatti thought he had a shot.
I mean,
I understand. I believe.
but the iPhone got spell check.
It does. It does.
I mean,
but, you know, but if
iPhone
you
got
start smocking enough, it'll automatically change it for you.
iPhone got autocorrect.
Listen, people have figured out the ducking. If you can figure out ducking, you can figure out smocking.
But if you listen, if you hear that their messaging is, and the Republicans' messaging is, obviously they stick with this whole no collusion, which obviously isn't even a legal term. But it's okay that you cheated to win, but we don't care about that as long as there's no collusion.
Right, right. But then you got Alan Dershowitz who's sitting there going, like, for instance, how he wants to make everything a legal argument. Okay, first and foremost, impeachment is not a legal
Political
definition. It's political. I mean, the Constitution does not spell out what qualifies under impeachment. It's literally what the House and the Senate decides what it is.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, it literally implies any crime. Literally, high crimes
and misdemeanors.
Right. If it's not a felony,
high crimes and misdemeanors, which means, y'all, murder or jaywalking.
Literally.
Felonies are somewhere in there.
That's true.
That's a high crime.
That's a high crime.
Jaywalking, misdemeanor. Meaning we could boot your ass for high crimes and misdemeanors.
But let's talk about the quality of people that are defending Trump. Alan Dershowitz. I mean, you know, Alan Dershowitz, you know, Jeffrey Epstein's attorney.
At the Jeffrey
Epstein party. You know, you got a girl 16
And he
at
just
a time.
said all I got was a massage.
She said no. So these are the type of people that are defending Trump.
Yeah, birds of a feather.
I can tell you. All right, y'all. This is the perfect time for one of our partners who support the show. And y'all want to write this website down, marijuanastock.org. There's a whole bunch of that going on at the White House. Marijuanastock.org. Now, look, I'm going to tell you why. As we transition to the holiday season, this is the time when we start thinking about giving and sharing, not puff, puff, pass, pass. Now, sometimes the best gift that you can give someone is an opportunity that could potentially change their lives. That's why our friends at Transatlantic Real Estate have created an investment opportunity for the everyday investor. It involves legal marijuana and crowdfunding. Let me say that. Legal marijuana and crowdfunding. Now, we all know that legal marijuana has created one of the fastest growing industries in this country, multi-billion-dollar industry. We also know that crowdfunding makes it easy to be an early investor of an opportunity. Now, but it gets even better. Transatlantic Real Estate is different. They have a business model that is very simple. They buy land that supports marijuana grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. Once you understand that, you are investing in the landlord of a licensed marijuana farm in a high-growth market. Now, for a limited time, you can invest as little as $300 up to $10,000 before the company goes public. Now, here's some more good news. They have recently extended the offer, which means you still have time if you take action now. Now, keep in mind, you must complete and confirm your application to participate, so be sure to complete the process. Don't spend all your holiday money and end up with empty pockets. Instead, get a return on your investment. You can also consider making an investment for someone special. How's that for a holiday gift? To get started, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org for you to get in the game. All right, folks, let's talk about this story out of New York. Police there say they are quite disturbed as a result of this video. This all started at a Brooklyn, New York food stamp office when Jasmine Hetley sat on the floor because there are no available chairs. She got into a verbal dispute with a security guard. And guess what? Somebody called the cops, and these dumbasses did this. right, folks. Actually, let the video keep rolling. I'll talk over it. Now, of course, this was not supposed to happen. After the death of Eric Garner in 2014, the police were given de-escalation training. Well, clearly it's not working. Now, the officers involved have not been placed on leave. Letitia James, the city's public advocate, called for the officers to be placed on desk duty and the results of the investigation to be made public. Now, this is what she said, quote, "Being poor is not a crime. No mother should have to experience the trauma, humiliation we all witnessed in this video." And of course, Letitia James, she is the state's attorney general elect in New York State. Again, this is just very basic. So let's see. There are no chairs. She's sitting on the floor. No harm, no foul. No harm. I mean, I'm just trying to understand. And the other piece is, I don't get why a cop doesn't show up and go, "This why you called us?
No, seriously.
Exactly.
No, seriously.
Is this why you called us? Pack this shit up, let's go." I don't understand why these cops feel as if they have to listen to some rent-a-cop in a situation.
You know, I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound wild as hell, but looking at a video like that, it makes it very, very, very hard to not say, to put the fucking phone down and give the girl some help, cop or not.
Right.
I mean, you're literally pulling almost a 1-year-old apart. You know, 2 officers pulling a 1-year-old in two different directions. I mean, another officer holding a taser out towards the crowd and then towards the mother who's already on the ground subdued, just trying to protect the 1-year-old. I mean, this is, I mean, you know, we try to keep things civil, try to keep things, you know, humane. You know, you want to, preserve civil society, but it makes it extremely hard to look at a video like that and say, put your phones down and protect this woman from these abusive police, regardless of what they end up, you know, what the consequences.
Yeah,
be.
but then all of a sudden that happens, and then all of a sudden
that's
for attacking a police officer, and then they're going to slap on all kind of other charges, Avis.
Filing on charges, and this is what happened to this woman too. Despite the atrocity that we just saw right now, absolutely no excuse for that. I don't even understand why any of them.
She gets charged.
She got charged. She is currently in Rikers.
She is,
as we speak.
No bail.
No bail. Lord only knows where her child is or if they will be reunited. I mean, this is a human rights atrocity. And so in terms of what should happen to those cops, okay, there should not be any peace in front of any of the New York's precincts until that mother and that child is reunited. And those specific cops are out, unemployed as they should be.
Certain situations, I mean, this is where elected officials and politicians just have to step up. Mayor de Blasio needs to just do something today. I mean, there's just certain things you just need to just do. And I don't even know what the charge. She should not be in Rikers. She shouldn't be in Rikers. I don't even know what the charge was. I didn't see her throw a punch. I didn't see her kick.
Outstanding warrant in Jersey, and that's what they decided to hold her on. And they charged her after the fact with resisting and everything else. But the thing is this.
But you can still have due process on that warrant.
You can't right. Absolutely. But the thing is this. The initial call should be made to call
Absolutely
police.
Not.
I mean, she's sitting on the floor.
Who is she hurting?
Who she's hurting? Nobody.
Here's a comment. This is what the top cop in New York said, James O'Neill. Here we go to my iPad. The video obviously is very disturbing. First of all, double check this here, please, to make sure they're seeing it. He said, "I'm a dad. I have 2 kids, but being a cop, it's a really difficult job. Thank goodness nobody was hurt, or at least at the time, nobody reported any injuries. And then going forward, as with any incident they were involved in, we'll learn from this." Now, de Blasio also tweeted after this, "This was a disturbing incident. Like anyone who's watched this video, I have a lot of questions about how this was handled. NYPD and the City Human Resources Administration, which oversees operations and programs, including SNAP, will get to the bottom of what happened." Okay, yeah, but she's in
Stop
jail.
tweeting, start doing.
This is beyond disturbing.
Stop issuing statements, start doing. You were elected, you have power. De Blasio, mayor, you have power. City council, you have oversight over this police department.
She's 23 years old. The charges include resisting arrest, obstructing governmental administration, and acting in a manner injurious to a child.
You know who was acting in a manner injurious to the child? The damn cops were acting in a manner injurious to a child. Now here's the situation. De Blasio, okay, look, you married to a black woman, okay? What you have seen is an assault on a black woman that I guarantee you, I don't care that the police officers were also black, because we also know what happens when they turn blue, right?
Okay, how about this? So you're going to love this one, or you're going to get it even better.
The union.
So she remains behind bars in Rikers Island. According to the New York Post here. Can y'all now see it? Can y'all pull up my iPad, please? but the Brooklyn DA's office said Monday that it hadn't requested bail and were working with New Jersey authorities to clear up a warrant so she can walk free ahead of her next court date.
The point is, they would have never assaulted a white woman like that with a little white baby. Let's just be very clear about that. That would have never happened. And I'm not impressed that de Blasio is married to his sister. Let's see what he is going to do now.
He's been married for forever now.
Exactly.
But there were atrocities against black women in the city of New York.
Absolutely. There's so many examples. You're exactly right.
He's a pseudo-progressive in name only.
You're exactly. Well, hey, I'm not going to defend him. This right here is absolutely ridiculous. It's a human rights atrocity. And I would not ever imagine this ever happening to any white woman with a cute little white baby. Would never have their child ripped from their arms like that. It comes from a history of dehumanization and disrespect for black families. A history in this nation of always ripping apart black children from black mothers, and it has to stop now.
It reminded me of both 12 Years a Slave. It reminded me of Roots, when they ripped the families apart, and that's exactly what it reminded me of. And the mothers holding on to their babies with dear life, and then the police took them away.
Yeah.
It was sad. How many police officers were there? Like 8, 10?
But you have 2 police officers pointing the baby from 2 different angles, and then another one that has a taser out pointing at the baby, at the mother, and at the crowd.
I know. It's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. All right, y'all.
Let me say fuck on the show.
Next story, more crazy-ass white people. This time, apparently, a college student at Columbia University, which should be damn embarrassed about how one of their students speaks about history to a group of students of color. Press play for today's dumbass.
We built the modern world. We built the modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We invented the modern world.
I feel you. You're so dumb.
We invented the modern world.
You fucking degenerate.
We saved billions of people from starvation.
Are you joking?
We built modern civilization. White people are the best thing that ever happened to the world. We are so amazing, and I love myself, and I love white people.
Say that one more time.
Fuck yeah, white people.
Say it right here.
Fuck yeah, white men. We're white men. We did everything. Look, I don't hate other people. I just love my white men.
God.
I just love white men.
Oh, God. Say white men.
Opioids are a hell of a drug.
Alcohol's a drug, too.
Folks,
I don't know what he was on.
folks, that was Julian Von Abel.
Oh, they got his name and everything.
Abele, let's see here. I think this is his
Abele.
Twitter feed. Is this him right here? Yes, it is. This is his Twitter feed. Here, go to my iPad, please. This is his Twitter feed as we see. And let's see, I don't think he's tweeted. And yes, looks like he has scrubbed his entire Twitter feed. And so he has literally one tweet up from October 6, 2016. And so I wouldn't be surprised. First of all, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. He followed these students to the particular eatery. And Julian's about to become, I think, extremely popular.
Oh, famous, bro.
On the campus. And now here's the piece. He was drunk. Now, the Black Students Organization at Columbia released a statement. They said that the student physically grabbed one of the other students and asked if black women like to date white men.
Oh, Jesus.
Say, player, I'm just saying, it's a good bet you're not going to get a sister to date you after this video. Now, the university, of course, they are investigating. I keep
open at Columbia University, man.
Look, I keep trying to explain to y'all. I keep trying to explain to y'all.
Applications in.
I have no issue. We're just going to go ahead. I need y'all to do me a favor in the control room. I need y'all to go ahead and just create me a new stinger, crazy-ass white people. Okay? Because that way, because this is becoming a daily feature.
It is.
Yes,
somebody
it is.
white, acting damn fool. You know, they start cussing, yelling at black people.
He's a white guy creating opportunity for somebody to take his spot.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, every time one of these white women and white men act a fool, guess what? They lose a job. I'm telling you, if you know, we keep this up in Trump's America, we're going to eradicate black unemployment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to exist because these people continue to lose their damn mind.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Julian, thank you. Thank you for showing us who you are. Thank you for allowing the alcohol to speak. Thank you for being transparent. And I'm quite sure there will be a empty seat available at Columbia in the very near
Spring semester
future.
coming up.
I'm just saying. All right, y'all. Of course, the Affordable Care Act is still law in this country. Donald Trump is doing everything he can to sabotage, not, frankly, running any ads. The sign-ups for the Affordable Care Act are down 13% from last year. Again, they don't want to spend any money. They're not actually sending anybody out, no one from the administration. They don't care if you get health care. Now, the deadline is December 15th. Deadline 15th. You can go to healthcare.gov. That's healthcare.gov. And of course, President Obama, he's out, with a new video touting this. And so y'all got the video ready? Press play.
Hi, everybody. Well, it is that time of year again. The time my team tries to get me to reference some viral trend or otherwise make a fool out of myself in the name of encouraging more young people to sign up for health insurance. But not this year. You know why? Because this year is different. Young people have stepped up like never before, on campuses, at the voting booth, and at the doors of power. And frankly, I think you've proven that you don't need to see me taking jump shots or sitting between a couple of forest plants in order to know it's important to have health insurance, in case, God forbid, you get really sick or hurt yourself next year. So this year, I'm giving it to you straight. Sign up for health insurance at healthcare.gov before the deadline on December 15th. You can do it right now. And most folks can find coverage for $50 to $100 per month. That's probably less than your cell phone bill. One more time. If you need health insurance for 2019, sign up for it right now at healthcare.gov. And that's how it's done. You've got a filter on me, don't you?
All right, then. So don't forget to sign up, folks. Healthcare.gov. All right, time for our quote of the day. Press play.
History and experience should not be ignored. Civil rights activist Roy Wilkins.
Understand what's going on. I like it. Is hearing the pressing the button like this here?
Never getting old. Never getting old.
I'm like.
This is what happens when his team wins, you know.
Right. Right. Talking about a little alcohol. That's why he drag. That's why he dragging today. All right, y'all. So of course, every Monday here at Roland Martin Unfiltered, I rock some gear of an HBCU, and so this I'm wearing, of course, the Morehouse sweater. Folks sitting there asking me all day, like, "Hey, but the Morehouse?" No. I'm Texas A&M graduate, same color.
Same colors, though.
But again, of course, Morehouse founded in 1867. Of course, famous graduates, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Spike Lee, of course. You also Julian Bond, Samuel L. Jackson, Sanford Bishop, Congressman, also Maynard Jackson. Of course, so Morehouse, support them at morehouse.edu, morehouse.edu. And so I got to ask y'all this here. So let's talk about sports real quick. So Reggie McKenzie got fired by the Raiders today. Reggie McKenzie, brother, left the Patriots, goes to the Oakland Raiders. They sitting here, they give John Gruden $100 million over 10 years. They suck. And so he pretty much runs him out. Here's the deal. There's only one African-American left. Other than Ozzie Newsome, there's a brother in Miami. All of a sudden, you literally have just two black executives in the front office in the NFL.
It's crazy. And that's where decisions are made. Now, that's where personnel decisions are made. That's where branding decisions are made. That's where who we're going to go, what kind of contracts we're going to hand out. It's going to play. It's already playing a role. It's going to play a role in the future of the league and teams.
Yeah, you're talking about again. It's important for us don't just get focused on players. You also look at head coaches, but also the executives. Not having the opportunities. Absolutely, and creating opportunities, Michael, and for other folks.
Absolutely, and I'm wondering. does the Rooney Rule, for example, does that apply to executive positions?
Oh, it does apply to them, but then they don't give a damn because in the case of John Gruden, I mean, the owner already had his mind made up, so he really didn't care.
Well, you know, that is disgusting. When you think about the fact that what would that league be without African-American players?
Not a damn thing.
Nobody would give a damn, okay, because there wouldn't be any talent to look at every Sunday. So, you know, there needs to be, this is one of the things that's really frustrating to me. You see people, black people in the labor positions putting their bodies on the line, but in the executive positions, underrepresented.
Michael?
Well, you know, most of in the front office, the African-American males have, what's the title? I think it's like player relations. So they're the ones that kind of communicate with the players and do the community service outreach, but not making any
manager, head of pro personnel,
but not making any decisions about who's on the field and the direction of the organization.
Okay, got to ask y'all this here. So, because Beyonce from H-Town, of course, she was not performing over the weekend publicly. She was playing a private party in India. Yo, guess how much one of the richest dudes in India had to pay? The richest dude in India had to pay Beyonce to perform. Two bills. I ain't say $200 bills. $2 million. Wow. And so here's a video of her performance. So imagine, this is at his daughter's wedding, okay? And so $2 million. So I thought about it. I said, okay, so if y'all had the money, if you had the money, all right, and so whether it's your birthday party or whether it is your wedding, who would you pay to perform?
Oh, we're going to Weekend in Hove.
So you got Jay-Z.
Jay-Z in the Weekend.
Okay.
Well, I definitely would, living, I would definitely have Beyonce.
Well, hell yes, living.
Living like dead, it would have to be Prince.
We ain't paying nobody who's dead.
You know, if I could resurrect him.
Wait, you ain't Lazarus, you ain't Jesus?
What sort of Prince?
Then you got to name somebody living.
Oh my God, I can't.
Well, you can't ask black people some damn question. You gotta go. Well, you know, if he was living,
with all type of tactics.
Name somebody living.
Beyonce.
Whatever. Michael?
I think I'm going Queen Bee only because my kids would want her there. They'd say I would too, but my kids, I'd say that. And the Pied Piper.
Oh, you know you would too.
I would. And the Pied Piper of R&B.
I'm telling you.
And the Pied Piper of R&B.
Well, hold up. You gonna have R. Kelly?
Sex trafficking. We don't need him.
You gonna have R. Kelly? What you gonna do? Pee on your gas?
In the words of Rob, who got your shots? I'm gonna come back to the U.S. You know?
Whatever. I'm telling y'all right now. So last year my parents had their 50th wedding anniversary, and so I had the OJs perform for them, and so I'd probably say, see, the problem is I know too many cats. So I would have to. No. Yeah, I would piss somebody off. So I would have an all-star jam.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Smart.
I'll have an all-star jam. Remember, if I got his money, hell, I ain't gotta have one. So because of the people who I know, and I don't want to make nobody mad, it would have to be the OJs, Jeffrey Osborne, Smokey Robinson, Johnny Gill, New Edition. Frankie Beverly and Mays, Charlie Wilson.
Good Lord, that's
I said all-star jam. I told you I can't make. I told you I know too many people.
It sounds like a Roland Martin unfiltered.
Hold on, that's the party. Hold up, that's the party. That's the hold up, no. That's the Saturday night party. Of course, no. We have a gospel brunch the next morning. It's gonna be a gospel brunch the next morning. So I'm just letting y'all know.
Unfiltered festival.
I'm just letting y'all know.
Can we have the tribe?
No, you can't talk because you said R. Kelly. You can't say a damn thing because you had R. Kelly on your list. You can't say a damn thing. You can't offer us no more suggestions. All right, y'all. Prominent civil rights leader died at the age of 97. Rosanell Eaton was considered an inspiration to the likes of from President Barack Obama. He wrote about her in a letter to the editor in response to a New York Times story about the Voting Rights Act of 1965. She became one of the first black folks to vote in her county in 1942 at the age of 21 after passing a literacy test. For over 40 years, she was a poll worker, helping register about 4,000 people to vote. Now, in her more recent years, at Reverend Dr. William Barber's request, she became a lead plaintiff in a lawsuit against a new North Carolina law that was seen as voter suppression. Not seen, it absolutely was. Now, of course, I reached out to Dr. Barber to talk about her, but his Fusion Films Company, they put together this tribute to her. Take a look.
3 lead matriarchs. I'm a preacher, and I remember it was the matriarchs in the book of Exodus that helped to save the land save the people of the Hebrews. This Rosanell Eaton, young age of 94, excuse me.
I've been a member of the NAACP for around 70 years. I've been in the movement for 75 years. And now I am just disgusted. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's a pleasure for me to see all these people standing here. In the year of 1934, I asked my mother to take me to the county courthouse. For I wanted to prepare myself to be able to help people vote and vote myself. So she and my brother carried me on the wagon, pulled our mule to the county seat. As we approached their office, there were 3 white men seated. One of them looked at me and asked me, "What do you want, little girl?" I quickly told them the story. One of the men, looking at each other again, told me, "Stand up straight against that wall with your eyes looking directly toward me and repeat the preamble of the United States of America without missing a word." I did it. Now we need to commemorate, we need to motivate, and we need to educate for the good of the people. We must strive and restore the voting rights, because you know that's the thing that really will stop us in our tracks if we don't watch out.
That's right.
The other night, when they announced something about some fraud, I said, why they keep lying? Because I got on the stand and stayed on the stand at the courts. And I explained to them that that was no fraud. We had a little conflict in the system once upon a time, about 25, 30 years ago, concerning a mixed up on names. But there was no fraud. They put all of this, as it has been told. But I want to tell you what I got up there in the hot seat and told, time after time, is that they were doing that to set us back.
That's right.
And we should get interested. Everybody, go home. Tell the people, you're on the street. Don't just go to the store to get groceries.
Come on now.
Go there, and if you see somebody, tell them about the movement. Tell them about the people that's working for the movement. I didn't plan to march. I wore heels out on my shoes.
Come on, man.
But the Lord put me there to help. I talk to people all over the world. I talk when I go to shopping, grocery shopping, every shopping. I go in places and tell them, what are y'all doing? And they'll say, well, we are just talking. But then, what are you talking about? And get involved in that. You got to open up your mouth and be a committee of one. I can tell you that. And I have made many of speeches. Say, we the people. 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 Say, fed up. Fed up. Fired up. Fired up. Fed up. Fed up. Fired up. Fired up. Thank you so very much.
All right, folks. Rosanell Eaton, age 97, passed away. Certainly want to thank Reverend Dr. Barbara and Fusion Films for allowing us to play that tribute to her. Folks, don't forget, if you want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered, please go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every single dollar that you give goes directly to this show in order for us to broadcast live every single day, for us to tell the stories that other folks are ignoring. And so we certainly want you to support us. Our aim is to add 1,000 new fan club members by the end of the month. We want you to do so. Of course, our goal, of course, is to get 20,000 of our members in the course of the year to donate at least $50 to join our Bring the Funk fan club. So we want you to do so. And also, beginning tomorrow, we're going to be rolling a video of all the folks who have contributed to our show. We're going to close the show out every single day with that video. So we look forward to that. So please join us by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Okay? Certainly want to thank Michael, Avis, and Eugene. We want to thank, of course, Desmond Meade, as well as Representative Love, for joining us on the show. Thank you so very much, folks. I shall see you guys tomorrow. Holla!